Can you see the difference between these two robot vacuums? Both of these robot vacuums are from SwitchBot and they are almost identical in every single way. The robot to the right is the K10 Pro, which I reviewed last year, and I'll put a link in the description to the video. While the robot to the left is the new K10 Pro Combo. There are a few differences between the two vacuums, but the main way they differ is from their docking station. The interesting thing about the new K10 Pro Combo isn't the robot itself, but rather the new fusion-based docking station. So what differences are there between the new fusion base and the old docking station? And is it enough to think about getting the K10 Pro Combo over the old K10 Pro? Let's have a look at the new robot vacuum and the new fusion base from SwitchBot. So first off, thanks to SwitchBot for providing me with a K10 Pro Combo for my review. As I already mentioned in the intro, I already took a look at the old K10 Pro last year. So if you're interested in how well that fares in vacuuming, check out my video in the description. But the short version is that I really like how well it cleans and how well it navigates around my apartment. I did, however, have one critique. And that was how it sometimes fails to dock when the sun was shining directly at it. And this brings me to the only real difference between the old K10 Pro vacuum robot and the new K10 Pro Combo vacuum robot. And that is how they dock to the base station. The old K10 Pro would have two exposed terminals on the back. And those terminals would make contact with two spring-loaded arms on the base station and thus charging the robot. And this connection point would often be a point of failure, especially when the sun was shining directly at the robot, interfering with the IR sensors. The slightest mismatch between the contacts and the spring-loaded arms would make for a failure with charging the robot. But the new K10 Pro Combo tackles this problem with new charging ports on the back. Instead of exposed terminals on the back, it now has two charging slots. When going back to the base station to charge, the two arms on the base station will fit into the slots on the back of the robot. These arms will then guide the robot to the correct position, ensuring that the robot charges correctly. This has made the charging more reliable, and even if the sun is shining onto the robot, the angle at which the robot can correctly dock with the station has been expanded. So the problems with the old K10 Pro of the charging going wrong isn't really something that I have experienced in the same way with the new K10 Pro Combo. So when talking about the actual cleaning capabilities of the vacuum, nothing has really changed. So I won't really go into details with the vacuum capabilities in this video, at least not with the robot. So if you are interested in how well this cleans, again, my video on the old K10 Pro will be sufficient. So where things does get interesting is with the new docking station. SwitchBot calls this new docking station for the fusion base. The fusion base obviously houses the K10 Pro robot vacuum. But other than housing the K10 Pro, it also houses the star of the show, the new handheld and cordless vacuum. The cordless vacuum fits onto the base station of the fusion base. Once attached, it'll charge and also empty itself into the fusion base. Having a cordless vacuum attached to the fusion base obviously means that you'll have to account for a lot more vertical place where you're planning on placing this robot vacuum station. It also requires a few centimeters of clearance from the wall, but SwitchBot includes a separator from the base to the wall that will show you how much space you'll need for fitting the cordless vacuum onto the fusion base. Removing the cordless vacuum from the fusion base is very easy, as is reattaching it to the fusion base. The head of the vacuum includes a rotating brush that helps pick up hairs and other kinds of debris on the floor. But what I really like about the head of the brush is also that SwitchBot has included a green light. The green light of the green LEDs helps me identify the spots that I have missed when vacuuming. It also makes it look way more premium. So it's a nice addition and it's a nice touch from SwitchBot. If all you need is a small handheld vacuum, then the entire head and the entire nozzle of the vacuum can easily be removed. By detaching the nozzle, you can attach other included peripherals. Some of these peripherals also attaches to the end of the nozzle instead of the head with the spinning brush. By attaching these shorter peripherals, you now have a handheld vacuum that is perfect for the couch or the table or other spots that are hard to reach. SwitchBot has also included a small holder for these peripherals, which is pretty neat. I only wish that the mopping accessory could be attached to this holder. So somebody please, if it doesn't already exist, design a 3D printed attachment so I can attach my mopping accessory to the holder of the other peripherals. When it comes to the actual specs of the cordless vacuum, SwitchBot is claiming a suction power of 20,000 Pascal. This in theory means that it should be able to catch most debris and dust from the floor. In testing, it really does handle most of what I've thrown at it. So even if it's crumbs or bigger debris like rice or something like that, it'll easily pick it up. And for smaller everyday cleaning, I don't see any problems with using this over a traditional vacuum cleaner. So now will this replace a traditional vacuum that plugs into a power outlet? No, it simply won't, but I think that's the case with almost all handheld cordless vacuums. So even though you'll still need a powered or an outlet powered vacuum, I think you'll be good for most everyday cleaning and also only need a traditional vacuum for those more in-depth cleaning sessions. So while I'll still be keeping my old wired vacuum, it definitely won't be used as much as it used to. On a single charge, you'll be able to run the handheld vacuum for about 15 to 20 minutes on the lowest power setting. I find the time that I can clean to be adequate for the spots that the K10 Pro robot vacuum won't be able to reach. So the time I have to clean doesn't really bother me. SwitchBot is saying that the battery should last for around 2 years if you use it regularly. At the moment, I don't see them selling additional batteries, so if your battery does go out, I don't know how you can replace it, if at all. But as it stands right now, you won't be able to easily replace the battery, even though the battery is easily removed from the vacuum. If you already have a K10 Pro, opening the app will show you a new design. You still get all of the mapping features and all of the functions as before. And frankly, there isn't really much new here other than a new design. One functional feature that I don't like that they have removed though is the ability to turn off the LEDs on the robot vacuum. This is the only function that I've been able to find that they have removed for the new K10 Pro Combo. I don't know how many actually wants to turn their LED lights off, but it's a function that I used and that I think is weird that they have now removed. So I don't really know why they did it, and maybe it's just an oversight from SwitchBot. But I really do hope that they will reintroduce the function in a firmware update at some later point. It's also here in the settings app that you'll find the option to connect to other smart home apps. You're really just connecting the robot vacuum to other smart home apps, since the handheld vacuum doesn't really have any functions to expose. But here you'll find a Matter logo. And indeed, just like the K10 Pro, the K10 Pro Combo does expose this robot vacuum via Matter. To expose it via Matter, you'll still need the Hub 2 or the Hub Mini Matter. Hey, so just a quick interjection here. SwitchBot has reached out to me and confirmed that the K10 Pro Combo will support direct Matter or Wi-Fi in the near future. So this should arrive with a software update very soon. This means that you won't be needing a Hub Matter or a Hub 2 to connect the K10 Pro via Matter. You'll still need to set it up in the app since Matter don't support creating or editing maps. But other than that, it should be directly compatible with Matter. The only exception is if you're using Apple Home, since Apple Home don't support vacuums quite yet. If you do use Apple Home, a Hub 2 is still required. For me though, there's just one problem. I haven't been able to expose this via Matter when I try to set it up. The old K10 Pro connected via Matter instantly, and it's been working great and flawlessly ever since. But no matter what I try with the K10 Pro Combo, resetting it or setting it up again or trying to re-add my Hub 2, the Hub 2 simply won't recognize this robot and expose it over Matter. I'll keep trying to connect it via Matter, and if I do succeed or I do get an update from SwitchBot, I'll include the updates in the description. If you already have the K10 Pro, there really isn't any reason to upgrade to the new combo version if all you're looking for is a new robot vacuum, since the new K10 Pro Combo version is basically the same thing with a few tweaks as the old K10 Pro robot vacuum. However, if you're looking for a cordless vacuum, then the cordless vacuum in itself is pretty good. If I had bought the cordless vacuum on its own without the robot vacuum or without the fusion base, I would have been pretty satisfied with how well it performs. It's been good at picking up dust and debris, and I've been able to use it to reach spots that I wouldn't have been able to reach with my traditional vacuum with a cord that plugs into a power outlet. But combining the cordless vacuum with an auto-emptying base and a robot vacuum, now that's just genuinely useful. SwitchBot has been doing this a lot recently, combining more devices into one. First, their Hub 2, which is both a hub and a temperature and humidity sensor and an IR blaster. And lately, their air purifier that is also a table, a wireless charger and a lamp, and which I, by the way, am also going to take a look at in the near future. So stay tuned for that review. And now also a robot vacuum that is also a handheld cordless vacuum cleaner. I'm all for devices like this that combine small devices into one, freeing up both space in my apartment and also space on my hubs and in my smart home system. And I'm sure that we're going to see more devices like this from SwitchBot in the future that combines several features into a single device. If you were already thinking about getting a K10 Pro, it might be worth looking into upgrading to the combo version instead. If you already have the K10 Pro, I don't think it's worth upgrading just for the cordless vacuum, unless you're already looking at a cordless vacuum. But if you are thinking about getting the combo version, I have no problems recommending this. I've had no problems with mine, and I've been pretty satisfied with how well it has worked for me. SwitchBot is currently selling the K10 Pro Combo on their website for €800 or $800. You can also get extra bags and extra mopping cloths on their website, as well as spare parts. So if something does break on the vacuum or the robot vacuum, they can easily be replaced. But that was it for now. Stay tuned in the future for more SwitchBot reviews, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you for watching and see you in the next video.